Happy March. Denny Beckham here, Beckham Estate Brokerage. Just tagging in to share the latest happenings real estate wise and beyond, and wanted to make you aware that this month, March 9, 2019, is the 33rd anniversary of my real estate practice. Now, it hasn't always been Beckham Estate Brokerage. I started off in March of '86 with Valley Homes Realtors as an agent, also known as a salesperson, and then got my broker's license many years later and launched my own label, Beckham Estate Brokerage, about 15 years ago. And wanted to just share with you a little memorabilia. My very first transaction, that was back in the day when I was holding open houses on Sundays. And I've learned since then that you can have successful open houses on Saturdays and even Friday mornings in tandem with the broker's open houses. I've sold homes that way. So that was free. That was just chasing a rabbit for a minute. But my very first sale representing buyers, I was at a Sunday open house with a senior associate. His name was Lou Hillenbrand of Valley Homes. And for whatever reason, he was, probably 2-3 decades older than me, but this couple that came through took a liking to me. Maybe because they saw someone they could beat up. No, just it was just a God thing. And they were from New York, an Italian couple. They seemed to know what they want and weren't afraid to express it. Well, about a week later, I got a showing appointment with them, subsequent to the open house, and they were determined to find a home that very day, which, of course, we always encourage. But so he insisted on driving, and I co-piloted him while Mom and the 3 kids were in the back seat all day long. So it was a bit of a grueling day, but it ended up being rewarding for them and, of course, myself. We found a house on Lemon Drive for them, and we submitted an offer, and we got a response that very evening. The next morning, he came to my home, actually, and signed a counter offer. We countered the counter, and then they countered back, and I drove to Leo Carrillo's State Beach, and they accepted the final counteroffer from the seller at their campsite. So it was quite an exciting event, and they're still client friends today, have refied through me a couple of times, have referred their relatives that I've sold and closed escrows with, and probably done 6 or 7 transactions with them in these past 33 years or so. Well, actually, to back up just a moment, I did try to practice real estate for a year part-time and didn't do any transactions. I was working full-time at Rocketdyne back when Rockwell International owned it. It's now Aerojet. It went from, well, that's a whole different subject. Anyways, and so I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I didn't do any transactions. And so in June of '87, the wife and I decided that we would dive in full time, but not before our good Lord provided the means to rejoin the Board of Realtors. And so on our 1-year anniversary getaway, we went to Carmel and Monterey, and we needed $803 to rejoin the Board of Realtors. And we just had determined then we're not going to go into debt to be self-employed and to do this full-time or part-time or anytime. So we didn't have the money set aside, and we took off on our pre-planned getaway, came home, and there was this magical so-called check in the mail of like $6 over what we needed. And we couldn't believe it. It was definitely a sign from heaven that we were in God's perfect will, it seemed. And so we dove in full-time June of '87 and have been at it ever since. So full-time, almost 32 years. But as a salesperson's licensee, I've had my real estate license since '86. Got my broker's license in 2001. Was a broker associate of R.R. Gable from then until 2015, but operated as Beckham Estate Brokerage as a DBA of Gable Real Estate Inc. From about, 2004 to 2015. So for all intents and purposes, I was my own entity, but then launched completely independent of Gable Real Estate in 2015. And so I've been completely on my own, you might say, since then. And just fast forwarding, last quarter of last year, I got blessed to sell actually my daughter a place, and my son-in-law and my third granddaughter their first home. Sold them a condo in 2014, which they were blessed to keep as a rental. And they were taking their time. They had taken actually 9 months, and they were going to keep looking because we felt the market might be softening and more inventory happening. So I just happened to preview this house. I wasn't even going to show it to them because it sited a main street. It was a cosmetic fixer and blah, blah, blah. But then I just decided, you know, I can't play dad here. I've got to just be an objective real estate consultant. And I showed it to them. Long story short, they got that $600,000 house that they wanted for virtually $500,000. And we negotiated back and forth, got them pre-approved, got their condo rented. I got blessed to do the loan for them as well, the purchase loan. And the rest is history. And it's a great property. They're still working on it, but they got that wonderful $500,000 deal on kind of a $600,000 home, and like kind of everybody's dream. So very thankful for that miracle. And I've got story after story of real life people and circumstances that would inspire and thrill your heart and probably encourage you to believe for your own supernatural happening in this world of business. So stay tuned, and I hope this hasn't been too long, but my first go at a video on my e-newsletter, Beckham's Real E-News, and hope you and yours are well and blessed. And happy almost spring to you. Today is March the 14th, 2019, and we're a week away from the first day of spring. So may Jesus richly bless you, and thanks for listening. Bye for now.